Hey there, what's going on? Kate here, and inside of this video, I'm going to talk about two of the top fears that most people have when they're building a home business and why it actually holds them back from selling and marketing their offers. So, hey, it's Kate here from katemcshay.com, and what I wanted to share with you today was a conversation that I had the other day with one of my students on one of our coaching calls. And she was talking about how she's marketing very effectively with Instagram. She's starting to generate leads with Instagram. But what she's identified is that she continues to move towards just giving motivation, right? Giving inspiration. But when does the sale happen? When does the selling happen? And why does she gravitate towards giving so much inspiration and sharing inspirational posts, but never asking for the sale or never recommending out a service or a product that could potentially help some of her followers? So here was my response to that question. And it's something that I struggled with for a really long time. I had two separate fears that held me back from really selling and from making a sale. And I did so much inspirational stuff, but never asked for anything in return or never recommended anything in return. And it was because of two things. Number one, it was a fear of rejection. And number two, it was a fear of asking for money, okay? Now, here's how I handled both, and here's how I recommended it out to the student that I was talking to. Number one, fear of rejection, right? It's difficult to hear people say no, right? But here's what I've learned is that the more no's that you get, the yeses will come, okay? So say you get 10 no's, that one yes is going to be coming at some point. And it's a mindset shift. I learned that what happens is that when you get a ton of no's, number one, it's a learning process. So there could be reasons as to why they're saying no, or you didn't dig deep enough to see if you could find their pain and that your product or service could potentially be a solution for their problem. Again, that's a learning moment, right? So that's a good thing. Also, by getting enough people to say no to you, there's going to be someone who comes along who is the right fit that says yes. And the mindset shift that I made was when that one person says yes, what if they are going to be my next top producer, or they're going to be the next person who inspires 100 other people to leave their jobs and work from home, right? So if I don't get all of those no's to get that yes, then what's that doing, right? My inactivity is not helping that person be able to move forward. So that fear of rejection is, yes, it's a fear of feeling rejected, those no's, but know that those no's will lead to yeses, and everything you do along that way, every single no you get is some sort of learning experience to make you better. If you are doing a ton of calling, here's a suggestion that really worked for me. I would take 10 pennies, okay? And I would have them in my pocket. And what I would do is I would lay them all out right next to my computer, and I would make my 10 calls, okay? I would call my leads. And so as I picked up the phone, when I first started out, it was just calling to call, right? If I got a voicemail, that penny counted and I could slide it over to the other side. If I got a live call where I actually got to speak to somebody, I could take that penny, I could move it over to the other side. If the phone number didn't work, I would take the penny and move it over to the other side. It was just a habit of getting me being able to pick up the phone. And then I got to the point where once all my 10 pennies were from the left side to the right side, I was done with my calls for the day. Now, all that was doing was just beating into my head the consistency of reaching out, communicating, and becoming a better communicator with the product or service that I had to offer, okay? Because then I got to the point where I had 10 calls I had to make with my 10 pennies, and I could only move those pennies over when I got a live call. So I might have to go through 10, 20, 30, maybe even 40 calls that day in order to be done so that my head could hit the pillow at night. So you know what I'm going to do here? I had two tips, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take that next tip and I'm going to turn it into the next video. All right, so what you'll do is you'll either see a pop-up or you'll see a link in the description below where you can actually click on it and you can go over and you can see that next video, because I'm going to keep these short and sweet for you. But one of the biggest things that I can tell you is that fear of rejection, that fear of no. What it takes is just throwing yourself into it and understanding that process, that it is a learning experience, that you're here to grow. We're here on this earth to grow and to move forward, not to stay stagnant and complacent. So that's what I want for you. All right. If that 10 penny thing would really help you out, then that would be great. As well as remember, all those no's will lead to yeses, and those yeses need you. So if you are not reaching out to people, if you're not recommending your products or services to people, people are missing out. All right. So comment below, share this with your friends. Let me know your feedback. Let me know if there's any other strategies that you've utilized to overcome the fear of rejection, because I want to help you move forward. And what I'll do is on the next video, I will tackle the second aspect of that, okay? Is how do I get away from the fear of asking people for money, right? Or that hang up on, if I ask people for money, is it going to be something that's of value to them, okay? So I'll see you on the next video.